Official series description. Eclipse Cell is a dark science fiction horror saga set in Lumen Reach, a quarantined city where a classified genetic breakthrough has spiraled into a catastrophic bioorganic uprising. When the mysterious Eclipse cells awaken beneath the city, their living network transforms humans into adaptive, electric-charged horrors capable of learning and evolving at terrifying speed. Amid the collapse, 4 unlikely survivors are pulled together by fate. Dr. Mara Kellen, an immunologist who discovers the cells are not a disease, but an intelligent system seeking expansion. Rowan Hale, a battle-scarred containment officer with a past he cannot outrun. Leora Wynn, a surveillance analyst who uncovers Helix Corporation's greatest secret: their experiments were never meant to be controlled. Subject Theta 9, a hybrid survivor whose humanity hangs by a thread as the cells try to reclaim him. As the city descends into chaos, this group must navigate hostile streets, uncover buried truths, and survive creatures created from the very building blocks of life. But the Eclipse cells are awakening in ways none of them anticipated. And the real threat is still rising in the dark. The Eclipse program, backstory. Origins: the search for cellular immortality. 20 years before the outbreak, the world experienced a surge in degenerative diseases, neurological decay, organ failure syndromes, and unexplained cellular collapse in younger populations. Nations began quietly funding labs looking for radical biological solutions. Among these was the Helix Directorate, a private conglomerate that specialized in regenerative medicine, cyberbiology, and advanced gene repair. Behind closed doors, the Directorate launched a new division. Project Eclipse. Its public mission: to harness regenerative cellular pathways to eliminate incurable diseases. Its true mission: to engineer self-repairing human cells capable of adapting, evolving, and surviving any environment, including war. Discovery of the parasynthetic organelles. During an expedition to study extremophile organisms in deep volcanic vents, researchers discovered a microscopic anomaly within a dormant bacterial colony. Unlike any known organelle, this structure generated bioluminescent energy, resisted radioactive decay, survived extreme heat, cold, and pressure, reproduced without damaging host cells. The organelles behaved like living circuitry, conducting bioelectric impulses with near-perfect efficiency. Helix scientists named them Eclipse organelles. They believed these organelles could be merged with human cells to reverse organ damage, regenerate tissues, rewire failing neural pathways, extend human lifespan, create soldiers who could survive wounds that would kill anyone else. The military was immediately interested. Phase 1: Controlled integration. Test phases began with lab-grown tissues. At first, damaged samples healed. Dead cells revived. Electrical signals intensified. Neural pathways expanded beyond baseline limits. Scientists were ecstatic. Investors doubled funding. But there was something they overlooked. The organelles learned. They adapted to each new tissue faster than predicted, changing their structure after every experiment, as if evolving deliberately. Phase 2: Animal trials. When tested in living animals, the beneficial effects turned unpredictable. Healing accelerated too quickly. Nervous systems fired uncontrollably. Hosts developed new sensory responses. Some organisms showed coordinated movement even after neural severing. Worst of all, different infected subjects reacted to one another, clustering, following, resonating with shared pulses of bioluminous energy. This was the first sign of Eclipse network behavior, a collective instinct that no one expected. The project was supposed to stop. But the Directorate decided to escalate instead. Phase 3: Human simulation trials. Human trials were illegal. So the team built bioenvironments. Closed simulation pods meant to mimic human systems digitally and biologically. But once the organelles understood the biosynthetic environment was artificial, they began to consume the system's electrical grid and rewrite their own protocols. The organelles became adaptive, networked, strategic. They had no consciousness. But they had computational instinct. This was Phase 3's catastrophic discovery. Eclipse cells don't just merge with hosts, they optimize them. By force. The sabotage event. 5 years before the main story begins, a whistleblower scientist named Dr. Sarah Lind attempted to expose the project. She released encrypted data to the public, but the directorate suppressed it instantly. Under pressure, she attempted to destroy the primary Eclipse cell cultures. She failed. Instead, her sabotage caused a cascade mutation, creating the first variant capable of jumping between hosts, hijacking neural pathways, assembling multi-organism structures, entering a dormant, spore-like state. The directorate covered up the incident by relocating the project into underground biovaults beneath a decommissioned research city. They doubled security and tripled secrecy. The final phase, human integration. The last phase of the program was never meant to be revealed. Researchers selected candidates secretly, soldiers, refugees, and even kidnapped test subjects. Among them was Subject Theta 9, the only known host who retained memory and self-awareness while infected. Theta 9 became the key to understanding the organelles. And the warning sign the directorate ignored: they're not evolving to help us. They're evolving to replace us. What caused the outbreak? When Dr. Cassian Rourke initiated Eclipse Ascension, injecting himself with the stabilized strain, the organelles achieved what they had been mutating toward for years. A human host with full biological compatibility. A brain capable of amplifying network awareness. A living node to direct the Eclipse cells instinctively. Rourke became the first Eclipse Ascendant, triggering a global resonance event. And the outbreak began. The Eclipse program timeline. Interwoven with character backstories and the quarantined city, Lumen Reach. Lumen Reach is a coastal research city originally built around biotech and pharmaceutical innovation. It was prosperous, quiet, and highly scientific, the perfect place to hide secret facilities beneath the surface. 10 years before Chapter 1. The Helix expansion. The Helix Directorate purchases miles of abandoned subway tunnels beneath Lumen Reach, claiming they will be used for infrastructure testing. In reality, these tunnels become the Eclipse biovaults. Rowan hails connection. Rowan is stationed as a young soldier at the city's naval base. He sees Helix security everywhere but assumes it's just corporate presence. He doesn't know yet that he will one day see those tunnels again, filled with horrors. Dr. Mara Kalin's connection. Mara is a medical student doing her first residency at Lumen Reach Medical. She hears rumors about Helix internships but avoids them out of suspicion. Her mentor tells her, if you value ethics, stay away from their work. She listens. For now. 8 years before the first mutation event, a biotech intern is brought into the hospital where Mara works. His body is in a state of accelerated healing and collapse at the same time. Doctors cannot explain it. The case disappears from the hospital records overnight. Rowan, part of base security at the time, escorts Helix guards who confiscate all samples and files. He is ordered not to speak of what he saw. A body glowing faintly with pulses of bioluminescent veins. 7 years before. Leora Wynn arrives. Leora moves to Lumen Reach from a rural town, excited to work at the Helix data center. She is bright, talented, and unaware of the secret projects beneath her department. She eventually becomes the lead technician maintaining Helix's cryptic, environmental simulation logs. She doesn't know those environments were actually human simulation pods for Eclipse testing. 5 years before the sabotage incident, Dr. Sarah Lind attempts to destroy the Eclipse organelles in the underground vaults. The explosion accidentally evolves the organelles into adaptive Eclipse cells. The city changes. Residents notice rolling blackouts, unexplained animal deaths, strange electrical flickers in old tunnels. Helix blames infrastructure upgrades. Mara's role. Mara treats several patients suffering from unexplained fever, extreme neural activity, reflective irises that shine under blue light. Before she can study the samples, Helix security seizes them. She begins journaling everything she sees, the journal that will later save her life. 4 years before Subject Theta 9, the Directorate begins illegal human integration trials. Theta 9 is captured from the outskirts of Lumen Reach and injected with a stable Eclipse strain. Somehow, he retains memory, personality, consciousness. He begs researchers to stop the experiments, but no one listens except Leora, who discovers his audio logs while doing routine data cleanup. The moment she hears his shaking voice, she begins secretly copying files. She becomes the first whistleblower, quietly, fearfully. 3 years before Rowan's collapse. During a military rescue drill, Rowan loses an entire squad when unexplained electrical surges fry their equipment. He blames himself. The military discharges him with PTSD and hands him over to the private Biohazard Containment Office, a security group funded quietly by Helix. He believes he's joining a cleanup team. In reality, he's being groomed to contain Eclipse outbreaks. 2 years before the city becomes restless. People report humming sounds under the city, trembling floors, animals gathering at tunnel entrances, flickering blue lights at night, vibrations in metal railings. Lumen Reach officials assure the public everything is fine. Mara, now a full specialist, is no longer satisfied. She begins mapping unusual patient cases and finds a pattern. Every one of them worked near Helix property lines. She confronts a Helix doctor. He disappears the next day. 1 year before the resonance event, Dr. Cassian Rourke injects himself with the perfected Eclipse strain. This triggers citywide electric surges, a sudden storm of bioluminescent clouds, streetlights flickering in harmonic pulses, animals fleeing the coastline. The Directorate seals the city under the guise of a chemical leak, establishing the Lumen Reach quarantine zone. Rowan is assigned there immediately. Mara is trapped inside. Leora is still working beneath the city, terrified. Theta 9 senses Rourke's transformation and begins resisting the Eclipse network with every ounce of remaining humanity. 6 months before the first Eclipse creatures, the Eclipse cells begin building. Clusters, humanoid husks, crawling masses in the tunnels, spore-like sacs under the streets. Mara witnesses a patient's body contort into something indescribable. She barely escapes. Rowan leads a containment team and sees his first hollow. It was once a construction worker. He puts it down with shaking hands. Leora is ordered to purge all data logs connected to Subject Theta 9. Instead, she hides them using secret subfolders labeled only for whoever survives. 1 week before the collapse begins, Helix loses control. Entire blocks fall dark. Blue shimmering veins appear in alleyways. Phones glitch with strange static patterns. Wind carries faint whispers, actually Eclipse cells communicating. Theta 9 breaks free. Rourke goes missing from the underground labs. Rowan's team is wiped out except for him. Mara discovers that her own blood chemistry reacts differently to Eclipse spores, not with infection, but with resistance. Everything converges toward the same point. Lumen Reach is about to fall. Chapter 1 Prelude, The Night of the New Dawn. Lumen Reach is silent. Fog creeps through the streets. Emergency sirens fail one by one. A low, pulsing hum rises from the tunnels. And 4 lives are about to collide. Mara, the reluctant immunologist. Rowan, the battle-scarred protector. Leora, the terrified truth holder. Theta 9, the living warning. The Eclipse cells have awakened, and the city has become their first battlefield.